Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. This is the spot right here where the conversation is pointed and the guests are sharp and the responses are never dull. We're going to have fun today. This is going to be, I say magical and mystical. I'm going to ask some deep questions from a priestess, Elizabeth Conway. Now, when people say goddess or priestess or maybe goddess or priestess for the most part, they think hoo-hoo. They don't think of how much it took to get there. Okay, that is the highest. When someone says you're a diva, that means that you're really a goddess. When someone calls you queen, what does that mean? What does that do to your psyche? How does that elevate you and resonate with you? She also does Reiki. Okay, and she's going to show us a little bit about what Reiki is, why people are so fascinated. They're more fascinated now with it than it used to be, and a whole lot more. Brains, help me welcome on the edge our beautiful guest right there, Elizabeth Conway. How are you, Queen?
I'm really well. Thank you, April, for having me. I'm just so thrilled to be here. And thank you for sharing the goddess priestess within me. But I want to let you know that everyone is a goddess and a priestess in their own way and their own right. So, yes, I've studied and worked for many, many years. And I've actually, I know a lot of people don't believe in past lives. But once I came into my awakening, I just knew, and I had memories of past lives. So I have done this work, this priestess work and training of new goddesses in past lives. So this is just a continuation of the work that I've done before. And I believe you're doing the continuation of the work you've done before to come into the kind of work that anyone is skilled at. They've even either chosen to learn to do it in this lifetime, or they're continuing the work that they've done previously.
Yeah.
So I'm
it's a
blessed
forward
to be
motion,
here.
and I believe in past lives because I'm telling you, I done had an out-of-body experience. I don't talk too much about that, Brains. I ain't telling y'all all my business. Elizabeth, I tell you what, but it was from another scene, and it was undeniable. I had dreams that of a past life, and it was a spiritual awakening. That was another trip I went on. And I went to that part of the country and explored that. And I tell you, I melted like butter. So these things are real. And they're given to us in this time, in this present time, for you to learn gratitude, for you to learn the lesson, for you to reframe it, for you to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
That is what a memory is. It is to be recalled, Brains. Okay?
Yes.
And Christians, I have some Christians friends that are real cool, and they said to me, I asked them, I said, do you believe in reincarnation? They go, no, I don't believe in reincarnation. Am I going to come back as a frog or a bug or a flower? I said, if you're lucky, if you get to come back at all with that attitude. But yeah, I said, so what is it when you say that you're reborn as a Christian? It's
I cannot help it, but I have to say something.
Say it, girl.
I love it when Christians don't believe in reincarnation. Because Christ actually reincarnated.
Wait, and not only did he reincarnate, but he's metamorphosized and turned it and defeated death. So I'm just telling you, it's a mixed bag of nuts. So you deal
and that's okay.
It is.
They're where they're at, and it's okay. They will come to their awakening in maybe not this lifetime, but other lifetimes. They're where they're at because there's some learning that they need to do where they're at. And that's for everyone.
And that's for everyone, and that's any religious doctrine. Because, y'all get mad at me and
Correct.
say, you get mad at me if you want to, but it is a form of mind control, telling you how to behave.
Yeah, and some people are more comfortable with that because they're too scared. They only believe that they're human. One of the most profound quotes, when I heard it, it so resonated for me. And perhaps I'll give you a little bit of a background. I actually was steeped in religion in my early days. I was actually a Catholic school teacher for 20 years. I see myself as a teacher and a guide. That's my skill. And I actually didn't find spirituality in the church. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. I wasn't meant to. I was meant to go on the spiritual journey that I went on. So I understand where people up. I understand the indoctrination, very much so. But I'm at a place where I have learned that nothing's actually wrong. Everything's exactly the way it's meant to be. And divine source love is looking after everything. And the quote that I was talking about is, we're not human beings looking for a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings immersed in a human experience.
Absolutely.
And when I'm sure a lot of people have heard that quote. And when I first heard it, I thought, oh, yeah, that's the truth. But Christians tend to be searching for a spiritual experience, not realizing that they're this amazing spiritual being who's chosen to have a physical experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is,
living there in Australia, what I've come across, and I've talked to many of you Aussies, I love y'all. But I find that there is a more energetic, spiritual, more than a religious doctrine. Am I just overthinking that? Is that
we do.
Because
We have
indigenous people, that's a tribal culture. That's an energy. That's a life force. It's rooted in the earth, like Native American. It's not, it's not the quote unquote maybe religious doctrines that we practice here or in other places in the world. Do you find it's more spiritual there in Australia?
I do. There is still a strong core of the religious diehards, but there's a very strong spiritual core here as well. Absolutely.
Good.
And I see my role here is to help those who've been hurt by religion. And, I say that in that way because I maintain religion's given God a bad name. A lot of people don't like to say the word God because, which, is sad.
Well, everything, though, Elizabeth, is so politicized. I mean, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is. Well, it's a simple, straightforward name. However, I've come to my own interpretation of God as divine source love. Pure love energy is the source of everything, and the source of everything is divine. So whether you call it the universal life force, whether you call it Muhammad, whether you call it Jehovah, I say a rose by any other name is still a rose.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But it is the seekers and the people that are always chasing that high, like happiness. That's a roller coaster ride, brains. You think that it's a straight.
We're meant to be happy.
We are meant to be happy, but also love. And I think that's, one of the unconditional love. I believe there's conditions on love, bottom line.
Well, the purest love is unconditional. And there's no doubt that there's conditional love. But the reality is we're pure love vibration as spirits. So what you're talking about is the human condition. And I totally get it. It's very difficult to love that which hurts. It's very, and I'd like to take this opportunity to send my condolences out to your whole country and the people that are hurting. And I'm sending my energetic love through the airways to you all, and giving you the biggest hug of unconditional love. It's so sad that a person gets to a point, and a young person, where their idea of hope is destroying the lives of others, because they feel that their own life has already been destroyed. We can't understand the mentality of that.
No, but you know what? It is a programming again. It's very desensitizing. I was watching movies and games and stuff, and just really seeing what's ingrained into these young people's head repeatedly, especially during COVID. They were just, sucked into those devices. And again, it makes you dehumanize. But the thing about it is, I talked to a woman, I interviewed her a few weeks ago. She was a Bobby in London for 30 years. The woman didn't carry a gun, and she didn't even want to carry mace for 30 years.
Wow.
And so,
well,
you look at the ability to have weapons here of mass destruction. It's crazy.
In Australia, guns have been outlawed. People don't carry guns, and that was due primarily to a massacre in Tasmania. So the government took a stand immediately and called in all the guns. And I know that's difficult for you in America. However, I'd like to just add to that's why our positive energy is needed in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy, you're absolutely right about programming. In fact, we're all being programmed from almost the day we're born. Some
see and anonymity.
It's already gone. It's already gone.
It's gone. You're a point and a click away from anything. Phone numbers, addresses, bank account, all of that. So, you just try to protect yourself the best way that you can. But talking about protection, talk to us about Reiki. Okay. I've had it done on me. And I've never had it done telepathically or through, I've always been a practitioner in the room.
Reiki is one of the healing practices. There are a couple of others that actually you can do distant healing. And I often do distant healing where I don't have the person in front of me, but I call in their higher self and their higher self body, and I Reiki that. And for those who don't know what Reiki is, it's energy work. I know it's often referred to as healing, but alternative healers, we don't heal. The person, you actually as a person who's being worked on, heals yourself. You have the power to do that. And we're just the conduits for that healing. What I also say to clients who come to me for the first time and don't know about Reiki, I tell them, because my spirituality is based in metaphysics, and I love metaphysics or concept of spirituality, because there is a science to it. People say, oh, this alternative stuff there's no science to it. And metaphysics was actually what the science was in Aristotle days. That was science. And it was over centuries that different science modalities emerged, like biology, geography, geometry.
Astrology.
Yeah. And all those different, physics and chemistry and all that emerged. But it all began.
Thinking about that, is that where you got turned on to the 16 laws of Napoleon Hill?
Oh, that was just one of the turn-ons. When I started the journey, I'm an avid book reader, and I read so many books. And there was one of his, most famous books didn't appeal to me, to be honest. But my husband had it at home, and I read it. And I thought, oh, I'll look up what else Napoleon Hill has done. And I came across, I believe the universe actually sent me to find it, because I never actually heard of the book called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, and most people haven't. But I'd like to go back to just explaining energy work, because scientifically it's been proven that everything from a plant to a glass to a table is made up of only two things, matter and energy. And within matter, there's energy. So everything is energy. So a Reiki practitioner, and one of my psychic gifts is that I read energy. So Reiki was the perfect modality for me. And most Reiki practitioners, some will do hands-on, some will do hands-off, work on the 7 chakras with the body, because that's the key energy centers within the body. And we can tell if the energy is sluggish or, or working too quickly, and we balance people's energies. And believe it or not, the body will actually give me information. Apart my spirits and guides will give me information. And over the many, many years I've done Reiki, I've been doing Reiki for 20 years now. And I'm still blown away. I still feel blessed and honored that I get these messages, profound messages. I just did a distant healing for someone, and I contacted them. I always talk to them over the phone and give them the information, and she kept saying, oh my God, spot on, spot on. And this is a person I have not physically ever met, and that was the first.
Wow.
So I feel very honored and blessed.
So you feel honored and blessed, but you know what? What other kind of charge do you get from this? Because there's got to be an ROI, even if we're doing the work. And I say this humbly: is it the prestige? Is it the gravitas? Is it the money? Is it the higher ascension? No, seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I laugh because I will tell you why I laugh.
Right, but you can't do this kind of work for free, brains.
Correct. That's why I laugh, because it's amazing. When I first started, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. How can I charge for this? It's been given to me by Divine Source Love. But a singer who sings beautifully and does it professionally doesn't do it for free either. But it's amazing how many alternative therapists almost feel guilty to charge. However, there's another side to this coin. There are so many people who say, oh, how can you charge for doing that kind of work? I mean, well, then my answer is, well, don't you get paid for the work you do? No, so yes, I got over that quickly. They gave me information.
Okay, but this is what I say, brains, and this is just the real deal. There's only 2 things that work for free: slaves and volunteers.
Correct.
And money. Didn't she just explain to you what money is? It's matter and energy. Yep. It is matter and energy, and it needs to move. If it doesn't move, it's stagnant. You cannot receive and you cannot give like this. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Let me tell you, it will come along. And Elizabeth, if they come at you like that, that's not the person that's ready for the manifestation that you're about to bring in their life. Correct. Because you're ready for it. You do, and absolutely, and close on the business. And if they can't do it that way, and this is the kind of person I am. If I feel it in my heart to do the right thing, there's not enough money in the world. If you've got a message for somebody that is going to change their life from a flicker to a flame, you have no choice but to give it to them, or you will lose your gift.
Correct. Absolutely.
But if you're just trying to figure out, is he cheating on her, and how can I get my head together after this divorce, and, will I ever fall in love again? And, if you're ready to really kind of just do the superficial work, then Elizabeth's not for you.
Correct. Absolutely.
We're talking about goddess level. We explained that to you in the beginning. Okay,
Yeah.
we are talking about that frequency, 5G getting through the vortex, starting in the root
Absolutely.
chakra of the world down there in Australia. Don't get me to preaching to y'all. I tell you, because it ain't right. And I'm more worried, Elizabeth, about us that's here than the ones that have gone on. So I'm trying to be a good soldier. You know, COVID, I'm trying to be good with that. I don't argue with people about nothing. If you like it, I love it. Keep it moving.
Correct.
But spiritually, I'm doing the work because I'm talking to great people like you. And I'm also reading inside the pages of your book. Tell my brains about your book.
Well, the book came about really because
Where's it at? Let me see it.
Here we go.
Okay, wait a minute. I want you to keep it right by your pretty face. And is that on Amazon?
It is on Amazon, yes.
Tell me a little bit about Beyond the Law of Attraction. I can't see the last part down there.
Well, Beyond the Law, yeah. I put it down now. You're right. It's above my head. I'm not. I initially wrote it as a workshop because I run. As I said before, I'm intrinsically a teacher. I see myself as a teacher and guide. So I run workshops to get my message out to more people. And many years ago, I ran a workshop called Beyond the Law of Attraction because I found that a lot of people, there's a lot of information out there about the law of attraction. But what I was finding is people were talking about, I'm putting this out and it's, but it's not coming back to me. And all you need is to put it out there. And I was getting a sense that they actually didn't understand the law of attraction.
They don't.
And then when I asked them, yes. And then when I asked them a few questions, did you read the book about the law of attraction? No. Did they ever look into or no? It was all hearsay stuff. And what I thought people might have been ready for was because the law of attraction is a powerful law without any doubt. And what I love about The Secret and the Law of Attraction and Abraham is it opened up to a mass of people another way of, the true way of being, who they really are. And I know Abraham is the path for everyone to realize. They're trying people to realize who they really are, these magnificent spiritual beings who have got amazing powers that they don't even realize, that often they're abusing, and the abuse is to themselves.
Well, what I did was I went through almost worked with a coach for 2 years, and we're still the best of friends and check in periodically. I don't work with people that long. I'm like a straw. I suck you up and then,
yes.
I'm on to the next one. But I learned really about intention and understanding my downloads and my life purposes and how to manage, nurture, love, and support my ego, to feed it and give it what it needs so it doesn't erupt. I can go into a room and read people's egos and their feelings and give them what they need and create a harmony and a synergy like no other. So again, I totally get, I totally get what you're saying, but you got to do the work. You can't just sit up here and say abracadabra. Oh, okay. Well, Elizabeth's coming over and she got some pixie dust.
Elizabeth makes some work, trust me. And in the book, I talk about 3 other, because the universe is full of laws. And many, many laws, not just the law of attraction.
Right.
And this information was given to me. It's not that it's my best information, my best insights have all been given to me by my angels and guides and divine source. Mm-hmm. So there are 3 laws: one that propels the law of attraction to you stronger, one that partners the law, and one that powers the law. So that's what's in the book. I won't tell you what the laws are because I'll have to buy the book to find out.
Well, brains, you better run, not walk. Put it up one more time so that they can see that, Elizabeth.
Yes. So, and at the back of each chapter, at the end of each chapter, there are actions you can take to help you better understand and do the work.
Well, you know what, Brains? Let me tell you something too. You can also manifest some drama. Okay, if you have that
Oh,
limited mindset, one of my taglines is don't, be big brain, not small minded. So it's your capacity and your bandwidth and your willingness. That's all you got to do is you have the willingness and the desire. It's curiosity, it's inspiration, it's innovation. That is how the world keeps evolving. And, when we go from this life form to whatever it is, you'll know that you did the best that you could do as a human being in this form, in this shape. Elizabeth, I just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for the work that you do with people, spiritually, metaphysically, that you were a teacher. I love teachers. Teachers and nurses are my favorite people on the planet. I tell y'all that all the time. You really are.
thank you. And
And
thank you for your work.
well, thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you. And Brains, Elizabeth's going to give you her information on how to get in contact with her. If nothing else, I tell you all the time, go for the consultation. It's mind-blowing. What do we talk? 15, 20 minutes, Elizabeth? And look at us. We feel like we've just played tennis.
Yes, for someone in America, I can easily do distant healings and connect with them on Zoom for the results. And it's a powerful modality. And then I support them with any issues they might have through a program that I've developed over the years called Meetamine training. And it's about working on the mind that is the greater mind of the person, to be able to use that mind to have the best, most joyous, happiest life journey that they can have.
Wow. Well, if you put all that in a jar, you'd be rich.
Yes. Yes, well, I can keep doing work.
Is a container. And I say it's a container because it should be kept tight. It should be sacred. It should be special. And when you open it up, be like confetti, just everything just pops out. And that's what we want to do. We want to be happy. We just want to pop out. We want to smile. We want to laugh. We want to be safe. We want our kids to be safe.
Absolutely.
Just safe. It's already bad enough he's going to break his leg in T-ball, but now he can't even go to school. And that's all over the world. Let's not be mean, Brains. It's not going to get you nowhere. So I love you, darling. And thank you for being here on the edge with me and my Brains. Brains, please do.
Thank you, Joe. And I send my love to you. And thank you very much for the honor of having this beautiful conversation with you. I love like-minded souls. And let's work together on the different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Spreading that joy, peace, and love.
That's right. And
lighting everyone's life so that they can see a clear path and not go down a rugged road. Because
the road is rough. But here's your GPS. Here's your address. This is where you got to go, Brains, to get everything that you need. Love, sandwiches. Good conversation.
Thank you, darling.
Peace of mind. Thank you so much. Thank you so
much.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Look forward to it.
Bye, Brains.
Bye.